From Washington, this is VOA News. Coming up, a Latin American trip begins for President Obama, plus arming the Syrian opposition. President Obama says the U.S Mexican border is more secure today than it's been in years, but that more needs to be done. He held talks in Mexico City Thursday with the new Mexican president, Enrique Peña Nieto. Mr. Obama said immigration and security matters are huge priorities for the two countries, but the U.S Mexico relationship involves much more.
Even as we continue to deal with these urgent challenges, we can't lose sight of the larger relationship between our peoples, including the promise of Mexico's economic progress. I believe we've got a historic opportunity to foster even more cooperation, more trade, more jobs on both sides of the border, and that's the focus of my visit.
President Obama will head to Costa Rica on Friday for an economic summit with Central American leaders. U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says the Obama administration is rethinking its opposition to arming rebels fighting the Syrian government. Hagel told a Pentagon news conference Thursday the Obama administration is looking at a range of options, but that no decision has been reached.
Stopping the violence, stability in the region, and helping be part of that, transitioning Syria to a democracy. Now, those are objectives. You're always, any country, any power, any international coalition and partnership is going to continue to look at options, how best to accomplish those objectives. This is not a static situation. A lot of players are involved.
Secretary Hagel spoke alongside British Defense Secretary Philip Hammond, who was visiting at the Pentagon. Hammond made similar comments. All of that's happened, the Syrian government troops backed by warplanes pushed into Sunni-majority districts in the central city of Homs in an effort to oust rebels on Thursday. At least 3 people were killed in a gunfight in the Central African country during what authorities said was a failed attempt to overthrow the government. The government said that a small group had been conspiring for more than 4 months in Chad to destabilize the institutions of the republic. Security forces who had been monitoring the individuals encountered the alleged conspirators late Wednesday near the capital, sparking a gunfight that left 3 dead. Chad state prosecutor says 4 officials, including 2 generals and 2 lawmakers, were arrested in connection with the plot. A study of Somalia's recent famines criticizes the international community for being slow to respond to a tragedy that said it killed 260,000 people, more than double previous estimates. Thursday's joint report by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization and the U.S.-funded Famine Early Warning Systems Network estimates the Somali famine of 2010 to 2012 killed about 133,000 children aged 5 and under. Tens of thousands of workers have returned to textile factories in Bangladesh's capital a week after the collapse of a factory compound that killed more than 420. Arup Pandey has more.
8 days after walking off their jobs, Bangladeshi garment workers, the backbone of the country's $20 billion a year textile industry, returned to work on Thursday. This as rescuers continue to pull bodies from the rubble of a factory compound that collapsed on April 24th. More than 2,000 people have been rescued, and some 150 others remain unaccounted for. Meanwhile, the owner of the collapsed compound remains in police custody in Dhaka as protesters call for the death penalty in his case. Arup Pandey, New Delhi.
Kazakhstan says it is cooperating with U.S. authorities after 2 Kazakh nationals were arrested for obstructing the probe into the deadly Boston Marathon bombings. Kazakh Foreign Ministry statement says Kazakhstan condemns any form of terrorism. On Wednesday, U.S. authorities arrested and charged the two Kazakh nationals and an American with obstruction of justice in investigation into the Boston blast. Former Pope Benedict has moved back to the Vatican in an unprecedented arrangement that will see him living there alongside the ruling pontiff. Pope Francis welcomed Benedict Thursday outside the new retirement home, which is a converted monastery there at St. Peter's Basilica. The two then went inside to pray together. For more on that story and all the hour's news, check out our website. You can find it at voanews.com.